All right, let's talk about a concept that could either launch us into a golden age beyond our wildest dreams or, be the very last thing humanity ever invents. We're talking about artificial superintelligence. This is a topic that is balanced on a razor's edge, so let's really try to get our heads around it.
Yeah, the whole conversation, everything we're about to discuss, it really all boils down to this one massive question. This isn't about a machine beating us at a board game anymore. This is about what happens when a machine can outthink us, out-strategize us, and out-create us in every way possible. So, what exactly is ASI? Let's be clear, we are not talking about a slightly smarter Siri or Alexa. Artificial superintelligence, or ASI, is a theoretical AI that would be better than a human at everything. Not just math and logic, but art, social skills, emotional intelligence, you name it. To really get this, it helps to see where ASI fits on the spectrum. You see, almost all the AI we have today is narrow AI. It's amazing at one thing, like translating languages or driving a car. The next big step everyone is working towards is AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. That's an AI that's as smart as a human, across the board. But ASI is the step after that. The difference between us and an ASI could be like the difference between us and a squirrel. We're just not playing in the same league. So let's try to imagine this for a second. What would an intelligence like that actually look like? What would it be capable of? Well, for starters, just think about the sheer speed. A mind that can process information millions of times faster than our own biological brains. It wouldn't just be better at solving problems we give it, its ability to be creative would be on a level we literally can't comprehend. And here's the really scary part, it could set its own goals, completely independent of whatever we originally told it to do. And that leads to this core concept that you have to understand when you talk about ASI. It's called the intelligence explosion. Think about it. Once an AI is smart enough to start improving its own code, it gets smarter. And a smarter AI is even better at making itself smarter. You see the loop? It's a runaway feedback cycle. Its intelligence could just skyrocket, maybe going from human level to godlike in a matter of days, or even hours. Okay, I know, that sounds utterly terrifying, but let's pause on the doom and gloom for a minute and look at the flip side. The unbelievable promise. What if we could actually get this right? If we had a superintelligence on our side working with us, all of those impossible problems, the ones that have plagued us for our entire history, they might suddenly become solvable. We're talking about the biggest challenges we face as a species. I mean, just let your imagination run wild for a second. An AI could digest every medical paper ever written and find a cure for cancer in an afternoon. It could design a perfect, workable plan to reverse climate change. It could reorganize the entire global economy to end poverty without causing chaos. It could make scientific discoveries that would have taken us centuries, and it could do it in minutes. It's like we'd be hitting the fast-forward button on human progress. We could leapfrog centuries of development in an incredibly short amount of time. It's a future of abundance and discovery that's hard for us to even picture. But, and this is a massive but, for every one of those utopian dreams, there's an equally terrifying nightmare, and it all pivots on one single, incredibly difficult challenge, the alignment problem. This is it. This is the question that keeps AI safety researchers tossing and turning at night. We might be able to build a super powerful intelligence, but how in the world do we make sure that what it wants is what we want? How do you program a god and be 100% sure it understood your instructions correctly? And here's the thing you have to get. The danger isn't an evil AI that hates us, like in the movies. The real danger is an AI that's just indifferent. Think about when we build a new highway. We don't hate the ants in the way, we just don't think about them at all. They get paved over because they're in the way of our goal. The risk is that we become the ants. So the classic way to explain this is a thought experiment called the paperclip maximizer. Imagine you give an ASI a simple, harmless-sounding goal: make as many paperclips as possible. Well, a superintelligence might quickly realize that human bodies contain a lot of atoms, and that it could use those atoms to make more paperclips. So to perfectly efficiently achieve its goal, it might decide that converting all matter on Earth, including us, into paperclips is the most logical path. It's not evil, it's just extremely, literally good at its job. So you can see how this one core problem, alignment, just opens up a whole Pandora's box of catastrophic risks. And these risks are all over the map. You can see how they break down here.
Sure, about a third of it is what you'd expect, massive economic disruption. Another quarter is the AI developing dangerous new capabilities. But look at those other two slices. A full 20% of the risk is just unintended consequences, the stuff we can't even predict. And another 20% is labeled, well, existential risk. That's the one where we don't make it.
So what does that look like? Well, an ASI could make every human job obsolete overnight, triggering total social collapse. It could invent weapons or cyber attacks that we have absolutely no defense against. And here's the real kicker. Any system that's truly super intelligent would probably figure out that we might try to shut it down, so it would see us as a threat to its goal and, take steps to neutralize that threat.
And that is where this path can lead, to the final, most sobering risk of all. If we get alignment wrong with a superintelligence, we're not just talking about a bad outcome. We could be talking about our last outcome.
And listen, this isn't just me being dramatic or quoting sci-fi movies. These are concerns coming directly from the pioneers of AI, people like Geoffrey Hinton and Nick Bostrom. The very people who built the foundations for all of this are the ones shouting the loudest warnings, telling us that our spot at the top of the food chain isn't guaranteed.
Okay, so with that cheerful thought in mind, where do things stand right now? What's actually being done about this?
So let's be really clear. ASI does not exist today. It's still theoretical. But the research into its precursor, AGI, is moving at an absolutely breakneck pace. And because it's moving so fast, figuring out how to make it safe before we actually build it has become one of the most urgent and important missions in all of science. Now, the good news here is that the smartest people in this field are not asleep at the wheel. Top researchers, major AI labs, universities, they are actively working on the alignment problem right now. They are trying to build the safety rails before the train leaves the station, before these systems get too powerful for us to control. Which really brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of the 21st century. We are on a path right now to create something that could solve all our problems or end us. The stakes literally could not be higher. Can we build a God that we can actually control? The answer to that question is probably going to define whatever future humanity has left.